Perception is reality.
Fine. Fine.
What's going on? How are you, sir? Nice to see you.
Yeah, that's kind of what do you want? Fine, Thomas, sit down.
Samuel.
No, I'm gonna move over. Greg, you move here. Mark will sit.
Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Claridge Hotel for press conference for Rising Promotions Round 10 here at the Claridge. Takes place this Saturday night, along with Greg Cohen Promotions, Dave Schuster's Winner Take All Productions. We have a tremendous 8-bout card. I've worked with Thomas on all these cards, and this is definitely what boxing's all about. It's grassroots to the T, the definition of it. And as this series has grown, the quality of fights have grown, and this Saturday night we got 3 championship fights, headlined by Thomas Lamana, who's all the way to the right. He'd be taking on Samuel Amaako, who's sitting to my left here. That would be 10 rounds for the LBF Intercontinental Welterweight Championship. Raymond Serrano will be taking on undefeated Enver Halili for the WBC Finker Box Welterweight Championship, and also in a tremendous matchup, Adam Lopez taking on Jorge Diaz for the WBC Finker Box Super Bantamweight Championship. And I'm sure Thomas and Greg will, when they speak, they'll tell you just what kind of card this is. 8 big fights. We have a tremendous undercard with some great undefeated prospects. And like I said before, in terms of grassroots, as the series has grown, fighters have grown up right before our eyes. Thomas notwithstanding, there's 3 undefeated fighters who are going to be on the card: Yorick Mamadou, Alvin Bermal Jr., and Frederick Julian, who they started out basically as 0-0, 1-0 when they started fighting here at the Claridge, and now they're on the brink of fighting some significant 6 and 8 round fights as they move their careers along. So I guess I'll introduce first as a promoter. We'll talk about his fight in a few minutes. Rising Promotions, Thomas Lamana.
Thank you. I'm excited for another AC Fight Night event. It's our 10th show here at the Claridge. Claridge has been great to us. New Jersey State Athletic Commission's been great to us. Hands down the best card we've ever done. Starting with, like I said, in previous interviews, Raymond and Enver. That's main event quality. That's TV quality. WBC title up. Myself fighting Moko here. And then Jorge Diaz taking on Adam Lopez. Another main event caliber, another TV caliber fight. And look, like Mark said, the undercard, it's crazy. Yorick Mamadou, Frederick Julian, Thomas Romain, Alvin Bermal was a knockout artist. Jonathan Arroyo making his pro debut, and look, the list goes on. Great card, great event, not a lot of tickets available, and look, be here Saturday.
And you mentioned not a lot of tickets available. Every show, you're basically 9 for 9 in terms of the sellout department. So when you say tickets available, it's probably in the double digits, 30, 40, maybe.
Yeah, if that, it's a good handful.
And that's not promoter talk, that's legit. Every show, the fans are standing along the walls, and you fit as many as you can in there. And obviously, he mentioned this has been the biggest card, and to make big cards, you sometimes need to enlist and work with big promoters. And sitting to my right, one of the bigger promoters out there who has a stable, world-class talent, and he's one of the co-promoters of this great event, and he's got a couple of good fighters on the card. CEO and President, Greg Cohen Promotions, Mr. Greg Cohen.
Thank you, Mark. No, this is terrific. I love working with Thomas. He's done an unbelievable job in building back Atlantic City boxing. This is 9th show, or this the 10th show. So and he's had 9 sellouts. I mean, that speaks volumes. What's great about this show is you've taken what Thomas has built, and we've added. And you have 3 title fights on the card, 3 fights that I like to say are showbox main event worthy. The card is stacked from top to bottom. And then you have a kid like an Alvin Vermal Jr., who's grown up on this series, who's 13-0, Tyson-like style. He actually comes from Catskill, New York. Started off as a cruiserweight. He's moving down to light heavyweight. But the fight that gets me the most excited on this card is the fight this gentleman to my left, Mr. Ray Serrano and Enver Halili. I mean, we are talking fireworks. Both guys can box, both guys can punch, both guys have balls, and they both have huge fan bases, and it's going to be just unbelievable. Very excited to be here. I thank Thomas for allowing me to co-promote with him. It's been nothing but a pleasure. I can say he's done the heavy lifting. He's done a great job, and he's made my job easy. And I'm really happy to be here, and I think anybody who comes to this event on Saturday night is going to be wanting for more.
And as Greg said, there's 3 TV main event worthy matches. Adam Lopez taking on Jorge Diaz, which should be a war. Jorge Diaz is always in terrific fights, fan-friendly fights, his headline on all the networks. Adam Lopez has been on Showbox 6 times, was this close to fighting for a world title. Both guys are hungry, both guys need a win, and the winner is going to step up and probably get either another elimination bout or a title bout. So that's going to be a fight worth worth the price of admission alone. But when you have 2 more title fights, the second title fight is Enver Halili, who's undefeated at 10-0. Greg, I don't know if you want to speak on his behalf. He's not here right now, but Greg's his promoter, and he's a terrific fighter. He's going to take on Raymond Serrano. So, Greg, you want to speak on behalf of Enver?
Look, Enver is, he's a no-nonsense kid. He's 10-0. He had a very big amateur background. He sees this as his moment. This is his opportunity. He knows Ray is by far the most accomplished fighter he's ever been in the ring with. He knows this is going to be the toughest fight of his career. And, if he's able to get past a quality fighter like Ray Serrano, that's going to be his launching pad to the big time. And I can promise you this, as Enver and his brother Skender, they bring it all. And you will see a guy going for it. He's going to leave, the tank will be on empty by the end of the fight. He's not going to leave anything out there. And it's just going to be a tremendous fight.
And he's been facing someone I've known since his pro debut. Actually, we were talking about filming your pro debut, and I think I broadcasted your second fight at the Hammerstein, one of those places in New York, I think. So that was your second fight. Another guy who's headlined on pretty much every major network out there. Had probably 7 or 8 fights, big time fights on ESPN. Raymond Tito Serrano.
Sir, I want to thank Rising Promotions and Greg Cole Promotions for this opportunity. My manager, Marshall Maroon, for being there, believing in me. And, I've been here before. 2017 has been a good year for me. I feel like I got a good opportunity in front of me to become WBC Federal Box Champion. And I know Enver Halili's an undefeated guy, and he wants to step up, and he wants to, he wants to win too. So, come November 18th, it's going to be a good night, a good fight. Make sure you tune in. Stop by Claridge, and it's Tito time.
That takes us to the main event. Thomas Lamanna is he's become the face of the Claridge Hotel. This is, I think, out of the 10th fight. This is like your 9th?
No, like 6th.
6th. Well, it feels like 9th. But he, Thomas, is a big reason while, he's the main reason why these great shows keep coming back here, both as a promoter and especially as a fighter. He has an unprecedented fan base here in the Garden State, and he brings fans. He's from Millville, which is not far from here, but he also brings probably more than half your fans come from North Jersey. So his fans come from all over the state. So he is the reason, both as a promoter and a fighter, why these great events at the Claridge keep coming back. They keep getting bigger. 3 title fights on Saturday night. He's taking on a guy who's stepped in on about 10 days' notice, a guy who is a rough, tough guy from Ghana, now down in Maryland, Samuel Omako, who's not afraid to fight anybody. You look at his record, he'll fight anywhere, any place, anytime, and he always gives a great account of himself. I know he hasn't been stopped, and he's coming to win Saturday night. There's a title on the line for him, and guy, you look at his record, he's fought a lot of good fighters. A win over Thomas Lamont changes his fortunes big time on Saturday night. So I know he's coming to win. So Sammy, you got anything you want to say?
Oh, yes. This is a very great opportunity for Sam, and like you have already introduced much about him. He's ready, and this team is a family to me. The 2 promoters, Papa Greg Cohen and my big brother Thomas Lumana, they are wonderful people, and I'm looking forward to working along with them, and we're promising to give a very nice show this coming Saturday. Sam is very ready for this show. And thank you for the opportunity. Sam, would you like to add something? All right.
Sometimes less is more. So.
That's right. Yeah.
And Thomas, who everyone has seen him fight on television, like I said before, a huge draw here, and he's looking for a big opportunity. I know he's not looking past Samuel, but he knows he needs to get past Samuel for that next big opportunity. And I know he's not taking him lightly. I was in the gym with him last week, and he's working very hard. In fact, I called him a few times. He's running at 11 o'clock at night. He's leaving no detail unturned here, so he's taking this fight very seriously. And he actually vowed to be the first man to stop Sammy. So I present to you the franchise of New Jersey, Thomas Cornflake Lamont.
Thank you. Look, me as a fighter, like Mark said, I'm not looking past Samuel Omoko Saturday. I do envision a big 2018 for myself. Between myself, Rising Star, Greg Coleman, we have quite a bit of plans in the future, but don't look past my opponent. I look forward to putting another strap around my waist, and like Mark said, I'm just focused on being the first guy to get this kid out of there. I don't think he's fought nobody like me. He's fought a lot of good guys, but he's never fought nobody like me. The size advantage. My experience, he's never gone 10 rounds, and I just think it's going to be a long night for him. And I look forward to putting on another show for my fans, for my mom, who's the real boss of Rising Star. Just getting through this. I didn't get to enjoy my birthday last week, so I'm looking forward to spending time with my family and celebrating my birthday. But first we got to take care of Samuel Moko, and that's what I plan on doing.
Thank you. Just a couple questions for Thomas. You're right on the brink again, and out there, like I know you just mentioned, you can't look past them. Well, how close you are? Do you think you are to getting that major opportunity? Is it 1 fight, 2 fights? Is it?
Look, you ask Greg. I know like I'm kind of involved with that process. You know what I mean? But my mind's just I haven't looked past Saturday, and I don't know how long. But that's something for Greg.
I would say after Thomas is victorious on Saturday, no more than 1 or 2 fights for an eliminator or world title. Look at his record, and when you look at the 2 blemishes on his record, one was 2 weight classes higher, and he took a shot. And you have to commend somebody for daring to be great. And the other fight, more than half of the people, or half the people at least, thought he won. So, you know, Thomas really could be an undefeated fighter if he would have fought all his fights in his proper weight class. He has a tremendous record, he has tremendous ability. Does bring something to the table in terms of the fan base, and I think you will see by the first or second quarter of 2018, Thomas in an eliminator will contend for a world title.
And actually, same question for Raymond. You and Thomas have almost similar records. You've been close.
It's
like
not gonna
Tom-
happen.
But no, that's not the question I was going with.
Alright.
That's not the question. The guy thinks he knows me. I was actually going to ask you the same question, meaning how many you've kind of been where Thomas was, and also you guys have pretty parallel careers. How many fights do you think is going to take you to maybe get that big shot?
I feel like after I win this title, I'm just a phone call away.
So next fight as well. And you know, even though your guy Enver, he's got a lot less fights than him. Should he reign victorious on Saturday night? He's 11-0 with a real check mark win on his record. Would it be time to maybe throw him out into the wild, or is he a little bit slower pace?
I would say that, look, Enver's taken a major step on Saturday. I mean, this is, you know, a quantum leap from what he's used to. I would say if he were victorious, he'd be looking at something like a showbox main event type of opportunity. You know, still only has 11 fights at that point, so I don't think he'd be looking at the world title opportunities, but something, you know, a notch or two below that.
Gotcha. All right, well, I guess we'll stand for some pictures, I guess, now. If anyone else has any final statements, or... Good?
Well, the funny part, I'll tell a quick story about how we made the Raymond fight. You know, Mark always wanted Ray on the show, regardless. The manager always wanted Ray on the show. And with Greg involved, he wanted the two brothers on the show. When we failed to get in some of these opponents that to fight, you know, one of them either wouldn't fight, like a guy like Ray, or another one wouldn't get approved to fight Enver, or whatever it was, and they dropped out and everything. There was actually going to be my last opponent, George Sosa, and he was actually on like a 60-day suspension after our fight. So he was unavailable, and we were like scrambling because we wanted to get all the promotion stuff done. I called Greg and I said, Greg, I'm going to ask you one question, and say yes or no. Would you fight Enver or Raymond Serrano? And he was like, I'll call you back. And within like 2 days, the fight was done. You know what I mean? And they said, Raymond said yes, no problem. Enver said yes, no problem. And I was actually shocked. I couldn't believe it. But we got it done. And I think it's like the perfect fight for this card. Definitely.
And that gets back to my original point, when you're working with promoters, and promoters are working together to, great fights happen. So that's just a testament to Greg and Thomas and Debbie and everyone who's involved in this to make this fight happen. I also want to actually thank the sponsors. Mark sitting here.
Marco's Collision.
Marco's Collision. You should be on.
Yeah.
We got Designer Wraps, TKO Fitness, who
We got it up.
who hosted a tremendous media day last week. Miss anyone, Thomas?
Oh man, designer wraps.
So I just said.
Oh, you said that. Oh, all right. No, look, all the small private sponsors, my individual sponsor, Clean Bro, you know, for supplying me food throughout this training camp. It was, you know, it's been really good. And all the fans and the supporters as well, even if you can't be at the press conference, you know what I mean? I'm sure you're watching on Facebook Live, you know, and for everyone who comes Saturday night is going to enjoy a great night of boxing in Atlantic City. You don't want to miss this card. You really don't.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So I guess we'll stand up, take a couple group shots, and maybe one with Thomas and Sammy. And thank everyone for watching, and we'll hope to see you Saturday night.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're welcome.
and we'll get, first we'll do the three fighters. Raymond in the middle. Now you see, yeah, you can stand back there. talking about today. Okay, just one with Raymond.
Like audio file.
All right, face up, Raymond.
And then we'll get one with Sammy and Thomas. A little bit closer. We'll do a face-off tomorrow at the wedding. Let's want to do one now. You want to do one now?
Okay.
You hate each other?
You're all set, okay?
Yes.
Good job.
Good job.